Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be doing a Stitchbook. I hope you'll stay tuned. So I was at a craft store called Pat Catan's. It's going out of business. It's being bought by Michael's, and in their dollar bin they had these books that came with one skein of embroidery thread, a plastic needle that is under here somewhere. I'll find it when I need it, and instructions on how to do things. So I thought it would be fun for us to do this design right here. So the first thing I wanted to show you when you're doing this pattern is you can't really see these because of the way that this background is, but they show a very light dot right there and a very light dot right there. And on my page there are no other dots that are showing. So what that means is the only dots that should have basically nothing on them in my pattern should be this one and this one. The rest of them should all have something filled in, which mine do. So I did this top section by myself, and because this is where the first section ends. Can you see that white? Hopefully you can. This is where my first pattern goes. Then you're going to want to skip one of the dots and start your next pattern, and you're just going to replicate this one. So you go up 2, which I did, then you're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to go down 4 again, then you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, yep, 4 again, 1, oops, my pencils, 2, 3, 4, and then down 2. Then you're going to draw one line down to the next, and then you're going to duplicate. So I went up 2, 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4, down 4, up 4, down 2, and that created my next zigzag. So then you're going to go down another, drop down one dot, and then I'll make a line between my two. I'm going to make 2 zigzags here, and then you're going to go up 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm just basically following the pattern, if you can see that on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch it. Now, if you've never done any kind of embroidery or counted cross stitch, or I did needlepoint when I was in college and I really loved it. They have these really thick needles. Now this one's plastic, which is great because you could do this with kids, and I picked out a bunch of skeins of colors that I like that are my own colors, and I thought what I would do, this whole of this needle is very, very thick, so I thought what I would do is see if I could put through 2 lengths or 2 different colors with it and see if that would work. I don't know if it'll work, but it sounded like a plan to me. I don't know why. And if you want to know the numbers, one of them is 1114A, and the other one is 906 is the other one. Sounds like a lie because they're so far apart, but those are the ones I have loose, and I'm thinking those are the ones that should be the right numbers. So then I'm going to take my 2 colors and I'm going to thread my needle, but first I have to cut off the length of my bluish color to match lengthwise. Okay, I'm going to knot both of these on the end so that we end up having something that holds it inside and the back, hopefully. I'm pulling my my string that I'm using for the side that's not knotted. I'm pulling that through here a long way so that I can't even explain that good, so that we end up having less to pull through, because I made this really super long, which was probably stupid. When you do this, you want to start at the back and you want to go forward, and you can see how really long this is. I made it super long. I'm going to hold my knotted part and make sure that we get that so that it's not going to be pulled through. And then I'm going to go up through the top section, and I'm going to have to pull both of mine to keep them together. And then, now keep in mind that I'm following this line, and you could go the whole way down. I don't know if that's the smartest way to do it, and I don't know if they tell you to go through every hole, but I think I'm going to see how it works. Remember, we went down through here, so we can't go back up through there. That would pull our thread back out. So then I'm going to go to this spot, because that's where our thread goes to next. This little rubber band that comes with it is kind of in my way. Here's my needle and thread. Okay. Then I'm going to go down through the one that I started with. And then I'm going to go over to this one. Ooh. I'm going to go over to this one and go back down through. I'm going to try and pull both of my strings so they're tight. Like that. It's really nice if you can get them to lay side by side so you can see, you know, both of your images together, or both your images, both of your embroidery threads. You can see both colors. Hopefully you can see this. This should be a relatively quick project. I was going to do my initials on it because I thought that would be fun, but then I saw this pattern and I thought this was really frisky, and I thought we'll do that. And then I started thinking about what else we could do with it, and I thought, well, we could come up with some more patterns. Maybe I could put my initials over this. I might do that. I don't know. I haven't decided. I thought maybe I could put ribbon in there. Now I'm losing my mind. I'm coming up with all these ideas. If you're following what I'm doing, all I'm trying to do is basically everywhere I have a white line, I'm just filling it in, and I'm making sure that I don't go back into the hole that I just came out of. Like if I would start here, I would end up pulling that back out. So you have to make sure you just don't go back into the hole you just came out of, or you end up pulling it back out. Hopefully you're following what I'm doing. I'll also look online and see if I can find any place that sells these. I did find one place, but they were super expensive, and like I said, I paid $1. I'm pretty sure that they had it in the dollar rack at Target, but I might be lying about that. I'm almost positive I saw it there though. And if you can find it like I did in a dollar rack, you're doing good, because it is a nice little book, but when you're just playing with a project like this, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. If you can't find a book like this, you could always poke a bunch of holes. I know that they make dies that will poke holes like for cross stitching. So you could use one of those dies on a front, or like on something that you can add to the front of a book. You could do that. Running out of string. Probably going to have to add just a little bit more string. Isn't that annoying? Okay, I just need to do that little bit. So let me finish that and change colors, and I'll be back. Okay, I threaded my needle and I did the top two little triangles there. I don't know if you could see that, these two. And then I'm going to start down here, do the exact same thing I did up above, and hopefully get this done pretty quickly. I started thinking about things I could do. I could put ribbon in between the two sets. I could color it with markers or watercolors. I could stamp with my peg stamps little designs. I might do that, like maybe some flowers or something in between. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about, that I could do something kind of unusual and not just let it be as simple as this. But you never know. I have to come up with a plan, right? It's always important to have a plan. I don't have a plan. That's usually the problem I have, is I don't have a good plan. I decided I would try something a little bit different, so I threaded a ribbon, easy enough to do again, through the plastic needle, and I thought maybe what I'd try and do is do my initials. So I'm going to start the S. I started the S right there, and then I'm going to go down to right there. When you make your initials, your middle initial is at the end, and your last name is in the middle. So this is the P for Parker. It's going to be at some point. I kind of like it. I'm going with it. I'm just going to tie a knot in it there. This is how I do it. I just do a single knot and I just keep pulling it closer and closer to the spot that I want it to be in. That's pretty good. And then you need a separate pair of shears for ribbon and thread like this, because otherwise you won't end up being able to cut it. Like if you use your paper scissors for this, it won't work. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back this so that it you won't be able to see my wonderful stitching. It's 5 inches by like 8 inches. Alright, So I'm just going to cut this green paper. I could have cut some bright pink to match this. I'm not really thrilled with the pink either, though. It's kind of bold. There's my corner rounder. If you haven't seen it a million times, it's a Katamaro Pro. I bought it on Amazon. I absolutely love it. It has small, medium, and large settings. And if I made money for every time I talk about this, I'd be really rich. But I'm not. I just love it that much. And I'm going to use a combination of tear tape and wet glue to adhere these, because I want to make sure it stays, and because I know with all those bumps in it, it's going to be a little bit tricky to adhere it. Know what I'm saying? A little tricky. Oh, I have to tell you, we had an oriole. It's a bird that's orange and yellow and black. Beautiful. We've never had one before. I was so excited. It just came to visit. We didn't have any food out because of the bear. We had the bear destroyed one of our feeders. It was a big metal feeder, and it chomped it in. It just squeezed the center of it in half. It was unbelievable what that bear can do. Every year I buy bird feeders at garage sales, because our bear this year, he didn't, because we had such a weird fall, he didn't go to bed when he should have, and so it ended up where he was awake in December, and he ruined some feeders then, and then he got up in, I think it was like March, he got up and destroyed more feeders then. So I go through a lot of bird feeders. I really try hard to take them down in a timely manner so that he doesn't do that, or she. I shouldn't have said he and decided my bear was a he. But anyway, the bear made quick work of some of our feeders. I don't know if I told you guys the story about the mesh feeder we had last fall. This is the one he stole last fall. He decided that he was going to take this feeder and eat, which, you know, we don't blame him because he's hungry. We get it. But I would appreciate it if you just leave the feeders behind. You know, when he's done, just leave them. But what he did was he took this mesh feeder, and that was that. The feeder was his, and he, you know, it was gone. And it's really bright yellow. You should be able to see it no problem if it's in the backyard still, but it was gone. And Rich looked in the woods behind our house, couldn't find it. We looked everywhere, couldn't find it, and maybe a day or 2 days later, in the middle of our backyard, there's the bird feeder, the yellow feeder that we looked all over for. He brought it back, or somebody brought it back. I'm sure it wasn't our neighbors, because if it was our neighbors, I think they would have just brought it to our door. I think it was some animal that decided, oh, you know, that's a bummer that they were looking for this. Wasn't that gracious of them? So here it is. It's finished. It was a lot of fun, and it was very simple. I mean, for me, I thought it was simple, and I'm happy that I covered the inside so that, and I didn't really dig this. I didn't realize that this page was bright pink too, but on the flip side, I'm not going to look at that unless I have to. Anyway, there it is. I hope that you give this a try, either with finding one of these. It's called a Stitchbook. There's the wrapper that came on it. And it comes with the directions. It comes with the little thread, or it comes with one of those embroidery threads and the plastic needle. I hope that you give it a try, and that you give this a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.